'cause I'm already gone. So long, can you stay the night? 'Cause you're the thing I want. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out, but even with no makeup you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now, like you do now. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. Whoa. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. When it's late at night, I feel you on my skin. My skin, you're all that's on my mind. It's finally sinking in. You're it. I know you're feeling different when you're stressed out, but even with no makeup you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now, like you do now. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. The way that you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. You move your body. Electricity. You move your body. It's electricity. Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down. I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. I keep rising from the bottom. 'Cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and none I need to worry about. 'Cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe. 'Cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear the sound. Listen up. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now, and none I need to worry about. 'Cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe. 'Cause I got no problems. 'Cause I got no problems. ceiling now. Has none I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. Ain't none I need to worry about, 'cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, 'cause I got no problems. A whisper in the silence is ringing inside the void in my head. I'm searching through the darkness, but feeling like there is nobody there. I wake up just to find I'm in chains, and you're there holding the key. No, 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 no. Fell for another one of your games. No, this can't be happening. No, 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 no. I'm shaking 'cause I'm frozen. I need some holy water to wash away this poison. You got me trapped inside her. Like when I knew it when I felt
shake the ground. Oh, it's like it will fill the air around. Oh, not asleep or awake. I won't let the future escape. Burning dreams take me back to you in the night when I heard your call. We're not the only ones. 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 Sometimes I feel out of touch with myself. Feels like I've been living with somebody else. In the corner of my mind, I feel something getting stranger. Everything's arranging, everything's arranging. In the corner of my mind, all I think about is you. Everything's gonna get better. Everything's gonna get better. Moving to warmer weather. Everything's gonna get better. Everything's gonna get better. Everything's gonna get better. You and I, and I, and I. My best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. Everything is better when we are together. I always tend to reach for the top shelf. When I feel down, you're the one that I ask for. At the top of it without all of my damn problems, you're the one that could always just solve them. At the forefront of my mind, all I think about is you. Everything's gonna get better. Everything's gonna get better. You're the dynamite and leather. Everything's gonna get better. Everything's gonna get better. Everything's gonna get better. You and I, and I, and I. My best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. Everything's better when we are together. I was floating out to sea. One day the ship found me. I was running out of time till you threw me last line. You're my best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. You're my best friend, best friend. Everything's better when we are together.
ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
Do you own a piece of esports? Get your merch at shop.eslgaming.com. Latest edition of the Epix trading cards available now.
Hi, my name is Suli. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help. Good luck, have fun.
I've decided to come back to the server room and the production area here at DreamHack Masters Spring to make sure that everyone's doing their job and also to help. And while everyone works really hard around me, I'm going to tell you about the two teams we lost yesterday. Sadly, Bulgaria's Sweethearts Fiend and FaZe had an early exit. But today we've got more teams fighting for their survival. We've got the Battle of Brazil between Furia and Pain, and we've got Vitality versus Extra Salt. Which teams will make it to day number 3? Also coming up, we have got Big versus Heroic, one of the most iconic matchups of this online era we find ourselves in, and also Astralis. How are they going to fare in their first best of 3 against Complexity without Device? All this and so much more on day number 2 of DreamHack Masters Spring. All right, team, let's go!
DreamHack Masters Spring is brought to you by Intel, 1xBet, and DHL.
Day 2 of the DreamHack Masters Spring Tournament starts right now. I'm Vince, joined by Dust. We've already said goodbye to quite a few teams, and there are going to be more sad goodbyes here, Dust. I feel like
that's why I dressed in black. You know, I got to be ready for morning. You know, let these guys, you know, go off to greener pastures or whatever you believe in. You know.
Especially over the B stream, we have some really solid games, but they are elimination matches, so there will be some goodbyes being said and had. Furia and Pain up first, the two Brazilian teams. We did get a chance to watch Pain yesterday against Heroic. Didn't really fare too well for them on Nuke. They got outplayed pretty hard. And Furia, who've had some mixed results as of late. Speaking of the games that we have, here is the schedule for all of today's proceedings. Furia, Pain up first. Then we have Spirit and VP. Should be a very interesting matchup from the CIS region. And then later on, it's G2 and Mousesports doing battle.
Yeah, man. I mean, we do have some bangers over here on the B stream. Hashtag B stream bangers. Get that trending on Twitter or whatever the social media is. I'm a boomer, so I don't know about how that works. But anyway, that's what we're doing. But we also have an A stream running, Vince, and there's going to be some big games over there as well. Going to be broadcasted out in the studio with all of our lovely lads and lasses over there. Extra Salt taking on Vitality to open the day. But then you got some spicy ones with Astralis taking on Complexity, and then Big taking on Heroic. That should be a fantastic day of games over there on the H-Stream as well. But you really have no reason to go anywhere else than here, because Vince and I are here, and we're fantastic people, and you love fantastic people, and we have some good games ourselves. So, you know, just in case, though, you were curious what's going on over there, we figured we'd let you know.
Yeah, put both streams up. You know, have B stream on the main screen and the stream on the side stream. But yeah, obviously, with having two games going on at once, it does mean that we can get through that tournament that little bit quicker. This is the last day of the B stream, of course, so everything past this point will be all on the playoffs. Here are the matchups as well with the times on CET time. So obviously, if you're not on the CET time frame, then do work this out for yourselves. But goes to show you what's going on exactly when on both streams.
I can tell you that it is 6 a.m. Central Time in North America. So, I mean, if people out there happen to be wondering what time it is for me, there you go. So, 7 a.m. Eastern Time then, and just add 30 minutes. So we nailed it. You don't have to do the math. I did it for you.
Oh, you have Google. I hear Google's great for that.
Google
kind of
is pretty sick. Not an official partner of DreamHack or anything like that, but, we'll give them a shout anyway, I suppose.
Yeah, just the classics. Just
what other engine is there?
I don't use any other engines, so I have no idea.
Yeah, there you go. Just we'll get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's move on, Vince.
Yeah, let's just move on. So, yeah, in terms of today's games, looking forward to kicking things off with Furia and Pain. In terms of expectations, then, Dust, I mean, I think on paper, you pretty heavily side with the Furia camp. They have been really solid. A bit inconsistent, though, is maybe one of the drawbacks that you could highlight and say for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it's just going to be so hard to read in the era that we're in, right? I mean, everyone's kind of dealing with the same factors where it's hard to be consistent, hard to, get in that same mental mindset that you're used to in the past. But we've been in it for so long now that I feel like people are starting to kind of figure out how to kind of shift their mentalities and still be able to bring their A game as we do take a look at their groups now, Vince, to kind of show you the bigger picture of how things are playing out right now over here in Group A. We saw all the opening matches take place yesterday, all the best of ones now behind us. Gambit and G2 moving on, as well as Navi and VP. Saw those best of threes, go fairly the distance, particularly Gambit versus G2, but it is Gambit versus Navi, an all CIS affair in the upper bracket finals. And now we'll take a look at the lower bracket, where we'll be spending a lot of our time today over here on the B stream, as we do have Fiend and Spirit having already battled it out, moved on. So now we have VP versus Spirit that'll be coming up actually later today for us. It'll be our second game of the day. G2 taking on Mouse Sports will be, I think, the third game of the day over here on the B stream.
Yeah, and then next up, of course, is Group B on the other side of things. This is where you're looking at the Extra Salt, the Astralis matchup, and how it's been basically coming out so far is I don't think there's been any massive surprises, Dust, for me, at least in this group. Nothing that really jumps off the page. Even I think Complexity and Vitality wasn't massively shocking to me personally.
Sure. No, I think that's fair enough. Like, I think Vitality has had their struggles with their new lineup and still trying to get everything sorted out with all the moving parts that have gone on with, RPK, retiring or what have you, and then Nevera kind of being benched and this Kaijin guy coming in. So it's understandable that they would have some struggles. As we saw Spirit being able to eliminate Fiend yesterday, Mouse Sports eliminating FaZe Clan. That is a tough pill to swallow, I think, for a lot of people, particularly, Kerrigan, who had departed Mouse Sports to go play with FaZe. And again, they have not really hit the ground running as maybe people were hoping, including themselves. But I do think in due time, maybe now that they're out of this event, they can really focus on just boot camping and practicing and trying to, sort everything out. I think that team is still a team for the future that will be very powerful.
100%. It's still super early days. I don't think maybe Twist has had the debuts or the opening sort of matchups that a lot of people are hoping for. I'm sure he feels the same way. But as you say, with a little bit extra work, Kerrigan having a chance to sink his teeth into that team, I think that's definitely one to watch out for in the upcoming months. In terms of Mouse Sports, maybe a little bit of a surprise. They're in a strange position at the moment in this sort of transitional phase. So it's quite an interesting one to see how they fare today.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they obviously, have a lot of changes in their own right, bringing on Dexter as a new in-game leader, bringing in Acor as a new AWP player. Not necessarily like taking the world by storm since they made those changes. They've had their own struggles. It's been kind of the hashtag rescue Rops situation going on over there. But, maybe they can turn the corner. Being able to beat FaZe, definitely a lot of talented players over there. So a pretty nice result to be able to snag that one. They're playing G2 a little bit later today. Going to be a tough match for them for sure. But if they can pull off that upset and move on to lower bracket round 3, that'll be a job well done for them, I think.
Oh, I think that will probably be exceeding some expectations. I'm sure they'll be very, very happy with that indeed. So in terms of Pain then, we just touched on Furia before. We both expect Furia probably will be the favorites. They did seem a little bit out of their element yesterday. Even the interview that we had with Refresh, he said he felt like they were a little bit scared or nervous. We both highlighted this. We both said it when we were watching them play. They seem to be respecting Heroic way too much. Thing is, though, against Furia, yes, on paper, they are one of the best teams on the planet. In varying degrees, they've gone up and down. It's been a bit of a roller coaster. But I feel like when you share nations with a team, they probably have played against each other quite a bit before in the past, not to expect. However, let's jump into a video first before we do continue this discussion.
Do I look like a man with a plan?
Some leaders are calculating. They like to outsmart, outmaneuver, and outplay their opponent. A puppet master wielding their teammates on strings. Other leaders are just mad scientists.
I guess I have a plan, yeah.
Breaking rules and foiling plans is Andre Art Kaiser-Evans' modus operandi. A man who straddles the line of good and evil, of genius and insanity, of entry fragging and of dying immediately.
There's like a lot of rounds where I do my play and I end up dying. That's part of it. And then I can call the round better because I can see everyone's screen.
Art is a commander doing the role of a foot soldier, not content with sending his army to do his dirty work.
We've got Amanek close on. Oh!
He believes that only the place to lead is from the front.
I just play my game so I can have way more control of what's happening with the enemy rotations. So I can abuse that and I can have my teammates to find the gaps.
The Chief of Chaos cares not about winning. He cares only that nobody else does. His desire to bring himself to the top is only to disrupt the natural order of things. Some people just want to watch the world burn.
Art would be probably the friendliest, nicest Joker that we've ever seen. He definitely is an agent of chaos, but he always has a smile on his face, and it isn't particularly crazy. In terms of expectations then, Dust, coming into this game, and indeed today's matches, how are you feeling about all of this?
You know, personal expectations-wise, Vince, I feel like we're going to do a good broadcast here. I think me and you are going to, you know, get on the mics. We're going to give a good performance to everyone out there at home. We're going to have a good time. And, you know, maybe banter a little bit, maybe some memes here and there mixed in, but also a little analysis, a little play-by-play. You know, I think you're going to get a little bit of everything. Is that what you were asking, or did I misunderstand the question?
We'll just go with that. Yeah, sure.
Okay,
Why
okay.
not? In terms of the matches, though, obviously
okay.
we haven't seen the veto just yet. We don't really know what to expect in terms of that. But in terms of general expectations, what are you feeling in regards to this match? We did touch on it just before.
Right.
Can Payne have a better showing than yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, you would certainly hope so. The interesting thing about this is while these two teams are both from Brazil, they've literally never played against each other. Isn't that kind of wild to think? I mean, obviously these players will have played against each other on previous teams in years past, and, you know, have probably played like pickup games together and things of that nature. So it's not as if there's like zero familiarity there. But yeah, roster for roster, they've just never crossed paths because, you know, Payne has been sticking it out in North America, playing in the different, you know, kind of America's regional events, whereas Furia, you know, has been playing in Europe for quite some time. Even, you know, before they picked up Junior, when they still had Henny on the team, you know, they were competing in like DreamHack Masters Winter at the end of 2020, where they took a top 4 finish actually, and you know, they even played in some other, you know, European events like the IM Global Challenge and, you know, the Global Final for Blast. And so they've been, you know, over here on the European continent, while, you know, the Payne guys have been at home. So yeah, they have never crossed paths. And thing is, Fury has also been looking a little bit vulnerable since Junior's joined the team. Like, Junior hasn't really hit the ground running. Obviously, it's difficult, I imagine, a North American joining a full Brazilian team. The language barriers, the cultural differences, and trying to build that chemistry and fluidity together. So yeah, I mean, I think it'll be an interesting matchup, Vince.
It certainly will. Well, we still need to find out all the vetoes, but first we're going to be heading to a break, and when we rejoin us, we'll be able to break this down further.
But even with no makeup, you still stand out. 'Cause no one makes me feel the way you do now. Like you do now. You move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's covers. Everything came so easy, it's electricity. Electricity. Oh, it's electricity. you move your body, you make it look like a hobby. Every time that you touch me, it's electricity. Things we discovered underneath last night's cover. Everything came so easy. It's electricity. Electricity. It's electricity. You move your body. Electricity. You move your body. It's electricity. Yeah. La 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 la. Yeah. Your life hits hard, but I hit right back. I never back down. I keep it on track. It's the same day with no problems. I keep rising from the bottom. Cause when the sun comes up and I look around, I can feel that love, I can hear that sound. They're never gonna hold me down. I'm higher than the ceiling now. And then I need to worry about, cause I got no problems. I know it's gonna be alright. It's getting better every time. Nobody's gonna kill my vibe, cause I got no problems. Yes, every day was a war. Yeah, it kinda took a while. When they tell me I should stay, I just jump with a smile. Yeah, it's hard until you notice. Everybody's got their moment. When the sun comes up.
Looking at our group B, I would say they're very strong teams. First off, gonna face Big, which is a strong team, and later you're gonna have Heroic, which is like one of the strongest right now, top 3 for sure. So it's gonna be a very tough start for the tournament, but we can manage to get through it.
Really? The fuck?
I know.
Let's go, Vinny.
Don't die. Ah, no.
Vinny. Na cacerata aí. Cacerata.
Too much jiggle.
Yeah.
Ai.
Come on, Vinny. 96.
96. Ah, no.
No, I have fun, Vinny.
You could play like this in tournaments, right?
Yes.
Yeah. You could play like this in tournaments, you'll be winning very easier.
I was talking, Vinny.
What the fuck?
Well, you heard Art there talking about that Big was their first test and then things were going to get a bit more difficult, but thus they lost against Big yesterday and it was a 16-6 loss. It was a rough one. So you mentioned before how Furia haven't exactly been setting the world alight for the time being with Junior coming into the roster. I think they've got a few points to prove here against Pain.
Not only did they just take a 16-6 loss to Big here in this event, they also went 0-4 in the IEM Summer Qualifiers, and in 3 of those mats, they didn't get more than 8 rounds, and that was against a movie star riders, bro. So it has been a little bit of a bumpy ride for them in their most recent matches. However, it's not been all doom and gloom. They did get a top 4 finish in EPL against European opposition, had a couple of top 8 finishes as well. And when you look at the teams that have been eliminating them lately, it was Heroic who knocked them out of EPL in the semifinals. It was VP who knocked them out in the top 8 at Katowice. And, those are, quality teams. And Gambit was a team as well that knocked them out in Blast Premier. So when they are, taking losses in some of these bigger events, it usually is against some of the best teams in the world, top 5 ranked teams. And certainly, I feel like Furia has done well enough to kind of stay within that top 8 space. So definitely still a very powerful team. Yuri and Case Rado still as brilliant as ever when it comes to being star players. Art still perhaps the most aggressive and chaotic player you'll ever see in CSGO. Does, so much dirty work to kind of set up his stars to be successful. But yeah, what the real hitch with this team is that since Junior's been on board, he hasn't really been as impressive as he was when he was playing on Triumph and other North American teams. And you imagine a lot of that has to be due to potentially like language barriers, cultural issues, and just, I mean, that's a big step, for someone like Junior to just join an all Portuguese-speaking team as a North American. I mean, we've only really ever seen that one other time. That was, Stewie and Tarek trying to play what made in Brazil, and that didn't go well either in the long term. So, yeah, really tough to call what's going to happen there.
I do feel like this is not necessarily a comfort match for Furia, because that would be doing Pain a massive disservice. Like, this is a team that definitely can upset, but you'd say on paper this is the kind of game where I think Furia, after losing to Big in the nature that they did in a very one-sided affair, Big are no bad team by any stretch. Like, they themselves are a legit team, but they'll feel like they need to bounce back here and have a really solid performance and prove a lot of some of those naysayers wrong. If they do drop to Pain here, there are going to be some questions asked of them. Even with Junior stepping in, like that probably won't save them from a lot of scrutiny and a lot of criticism.
I mean, because the thing is, Fury was dominating in North America before they went over to Europe to play DreamHack Masters Winter at the end of 2020, where they got a top 4 finish. I mean, they won IEM New York, they won EPL Season 12 North America, they won DreamHack Open Summer in North America. So when they were still stateside, they were, cream of the crop. So they're expected to still be able to maintain that level of play, particularly against a Pain Gaming team who, while they have done well in their own right, they weren't competing at the highest level. They weren't in EPL. They weren't even in Mountain Dew League and Premier. They were playing ESCA Advanced. They were playing a lot of like smaller cups like the Mythic and things of that nature. And while those are all really solid, they did well in those events, again, they weren't up against the same level of competition that Fury has been playing against day in and day out. And, again, we also saw yesterday that they played very timid, I think was like the key word that I can kind of pick out if I was to sum it up. And they can't do that today against a team like Fury, who's going to be ferocious with their aggression. So, yeah, this is going to be a tough matchup for Pain, even if it is against maybe some familiar faces. Again, these two teams have never played against each other.
Yes, but one of the bits of information that we can relay to you guys is the veto. It is now available and ready to go through. This is going to give us a better idea of what to expect, Dust.
Yeah, bans coming out here. Overpass ban from Pain, and then we do see that ban coming out as well from Furia. When it comes to Furia, I mean, they've honestly been doing pretty well on Vertigo, Inferno, and Train. So, like, that was kind of the 3 maps I would expect them to choose from. Going against Pain Gaming, just kind of considering, what they've been doing well. The thing is that Pain also favors playing a lot of those maps, particularly Inferno. So it kind of depends on whether you want to go comfort pick or not. We're going to see Pain Gaming decide to pick up the Nuke. Not a bad call. This is a map that Furia has struggled on. They have a 2-4 record since Junior has joined the team. So they definitely had their bumps in the road on Nuke, so not a bad idea for Pain. Then we see a Mirage pick coming out of Furia. And when you look at this Mirage pick, I'm not totally surprised. They've been kind of 50-50 on the map. But again, I feel like they have been playing some really good Vertigo and Inferno lately with this lineup. So a little bit surprised not to see it go to that. But I imagine that could be a map 3.
Yeah, I definitely think that would be a fair shout. Train banned up next. And my concern a little bit for Pain as well, though, is this is the map they lost 16-6 against Oricon yesterday. They looked really, really grim. Inferno is the last map, as you highlighted.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I feel like they just have to kind of brush that aside and realize like what their strengths have been in the past. And it's certainly true that Nuke, it was basically their second best map win rate rise in the North American region, only second to Dust 2, which is a very, variable map and, wasn't going to get really a chance to play it anyway. So I think that's just, kind of using that composure to say, look, Nuke is our map. Most of the times we just didn't show up yesterday. And again, I think it has been a weak point for Furia so far since Junior's joined the ranks. And I never particularly thought of them as like a big time Nuke team even prior to that. So I think it's a smart pick at the end of the day from Pain.
So in terms of players, then, we have about 10 minutes-ish before we start to get close to the game. Are there any players that you're expecting to really pop off here from Furia? Let's go Furia first, on Nuke especially.
Well, you got to imagine it's just going to be that 1-2 punch of K Serato and Yuri, right? Yuri being on the more aggressive end of that, K Serato being kind of more of the like mid to late round cleanup player. So they have both ends of the aggression spectrum kind of covered. And then you have someone like Art who's literally breaking that spectrum. He's way over in kind of a different area code than everyone else when it comes to what type of wild plays he'll go for, which can be very hard to counter. It's kind of one of those things where like you live and die by the sword though when you play that way. Like you could just kind of throw yourself away for free. But if you create that space and create opportunities for your teammates, then it can be kind of a worthwhile sacrifice. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. And when you look over at Payne, what I'm hoping for is that we see some of the guys who have usually been very strong for them be able to actually show up today. And that is going to be Safe on the AWP and the Biguzera, who typically has been a very strong rifle for the team. Those are the two players that I feel need to step up to have a chance to get the upset.
Yeah, I want to see more from Safe and Big Azera for sure. I feel like yesterday they were not necessarily like individually duel-wise getting outplayed, but it was more a case of the entire team was just letting Heroic have their way with them. Furia are the same kind of team that will take those advantages and they will take those fights if you give them those luxuries. And Art in particular was one of the first AWPers that I saw play really aggressive when it came to Squeaky Door. This is a guy on CT side that will push Squeaky Door and he'll actually start peeking down ramp from lobby. Like, he is absolutely crazy. So I do worry a little bit for Payne if they play in their shells again here. If they are timid, you know, that keyword that you mentioned before, I feel like Fury will just absolutely steamroll them. But maybe they've learned from their mistakes.
Yeah, when you have a guys that are as aggressive as Art and that Eerie combination can be, and you're playing back and timid, and you're giving that team space to play that aggressive type of game plan, it could really set yourself up for a disaster. So I think you're absolutely spot on. This is where you need to just go ahead and realize, hey, if we want to have any hope at pulling off upsets and having a run this tournament, we have to kind of play our style, play what we're good at. And, you know, like you said, some of these guys are used to playing that more in-your-face type of style, even defensively on a map like Nuke, getting aggressive in lobby, you know, trying to disrupt their opponent before they can even roll out their tactics. And so that's what they need to be able to do, because against Heroic, they look asleep at the wheel. They just didn't even really seem capable of anything. They look really sloppy, really disjointed, just, you know, really not keen on trying to have any agency in the game. And that certainly has to change today.
I would hope that we get that element of Pain where, you know, just going back a few months, they were getting into DreamHack Opens and they were ecstatic to even be at DreamHack Opens. Now you're at the Masters. You have nothing to lose here. If you get battered by Furia 2-0, people are going to say it's par for the course. If you can come out and just make a map close, people are going to turn their heads. They're going to notice that. So I hope that Pain play with this fearlessness and they basically come out and just do what they want to do. They go out on their shield, basically. They either live or die on their decision-making. They live or die on their aggression. That's what I'm hoping to see today from them. In terms of predictions, though, Dust, obviously we do need to come down with it being Nuke first, Mirage second, and Inferno third. Do you see Pain even picking up a map here? Because I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're going to say Furia win this.
Yeah, I think Fury win the series overall, but I do think that if there is a map that Payne could steal away, it should be Nuke. I mean, again, this has been a vulnerability for the guys over at Furia, so I do think that if there was ever a way to pick up a map on them, this would be the one to do it on. I mean, you look at the Nuke history here for Furia, it just, you know, they've lost their last 3 games in a row. Some of those games they got absolutely blasted, like they only got 1 round against Cloud9. Back in March, they only got 8 rounds against FaZe in the IM summer qualification process. And they also got blasted by Navi and Katowice. So the only close loss they had was the FPX, and the only wins that they have was like one against NIP before they made their change, bringing in Device, and then, you know, a very close 16-14 game against Navi. So just really have not been convincing on the map. And so if there was a weak area that you might be able to catch them on as the underdog, I do think that Nuke was a good target pick to try to do that.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the issue. Is that, you know, a lot of people just go off stats and they'll say, oh, but all the stats are over 50% win rate for Pain. Yeah, but they're beating like tier 2, tier 3, and NA teams for the most part. There's a lot of teams on here that a lot of you won't even know. Teams like Big Chilling. You know, these
what are those guys doing, Vince?
That are household names. Do you know what I mean? That's no disrespect to them at all. NA region's in a bit of a flux right now, I think it's safe to say. But the stats don't paint the full picture of how one-sided on paper this game is.
Yeah, I mean, they have had a couple of wins against teams that you'd recognize. Like, they've beaten Bad News Bears at times. They've beaten Triumph at times. So, like, those are some of the NA teams that actually have been performing really well. They even actually got a win over Liquid when Liquid kind of returned to NA for a brief period there. I believe that was the DreamHack Open March event, you know, just, you know, like a little over a month and a half ago, where they actually did get a best-of-3 victory over Liquid. But they've also constantly been getting beat up by Extra Salt and maybe some of the other like notable teams. Like, they've never actually beaten Extra Salt. They've lost every single best-of-3 they played against that team. Even teams like and Red Candids and Boom and stuff in Brazil have at times given them trouble in the past with this lineup. So, yeah, it's really hard to put your thumb on them, in my opinion. But not to speculate any longer, Vince. Looks like we are getting into the fly-through here for our good old map of Nuke. We did cast a lot of Nuke yesterday, Vince, and we're not done casting Nuke because we got Nuke coming up.
We do indeed. All the Nuke. I'm
not
fine
salty,
with it,
of course.
Nuke's a great map. I'm a big fan of Nuke. No doubt at all.
It's not bad.
Okay, I want to ask you a question because we've got about 30 seconds till we get into the matchup. Vertigo, yay or nay for you, Dust?
No. Garbage.
Really?
Trash. Not a CS map, in my opinion.
I'm a fan of it, man. I like it.
I think it's like, it has that excitement factor because it's new and because it's different. And so, like, you can kind of, I think you can enjoy it if you had that perspective, but I just don't think of it as a Counter-Strike map. It doesn't feel like CS to me when I watch it played.
Well, Nuke definitely is Counter-Strike. It has been in the iterations for seemingly forever, since day one of CSGO in multiple facets, but we are ready to get live and underway. Fury is starting on the CT side. This is Pain's choice, and Pain not taking their time. They're going to be rushing out, try and make this as difficult as possible. And Safe has already taken off the head of Art. Junior posted up in heaven, will be joined by Vinny. Post-plant now comes into effect, and even in terms of Pain, they're all pretty much full HP.
Yeah, they didn't really take any heat at all getting into this upper site, and it's good to see them come out aggressive. Granted, that's a little bit easier to do. There's no utility in your face stuffing you from doing these type of upper explosions, so kind of being able to use that to their advantage in this situation as we see Fury trying to set up a retake. There is a pop flash that will come through from outside. You're trying to run out heaven with that flash, and he and K-Strider will combine for one. And more. Holy cow.
Instantly. Big Azera, last man standing, has the bomb planted for him. The clock is going to work, but Yuri's up to the task. That's an unbelievable retake, and they just have enough time for the defuse.
Wow, just enough, man. That was a little bit down to the wire, so Fury able to pull off the retake in a 4-on-5. It was crazy how that happened. Just in kind of the snap of a finger, it was like Thanos arrived, and everyone got deleted.
Oh, blinking you to miss that retake. Just nothing but headshots. K Serato with 3 insta-frags. And Big Azera, try as he may from Hut, was always going to be coming out second best. He nearly got it done, though, purely off the base of time.
Yeah, that is a tough loss to take if you're Pain. You get the 5-on-4, you get the bomb down quick, you are able to get into your most comfortable post-plant positions, and you just get rinsed afterwards.
Yeah, that's definitely a grim look for Pain. You know, you get the fast, explosive, aggressive play on A site, you get the opening pick, everyone's healthy, we were commenting on it. There's only one flash for the retake, and they still fall away. They don't fully invest into the round, they go for a half buy. A lot of teams would go in for a full purchase here with Galils. Not the case for Pain. Does give them a lot of options for the next round here, though, Dust, and they're trying to take outside, but Vinny and Art are shutting them down.
I mean, to be expected, right? This was essentially the full season Pain with that bomb plant. They want to get the full AK purchase in the following round. And so a 2-0 was always kind of the expectation with that economic decision.
I believe they had an AK. They got a frag with from PKL, and Safe has now picked up the org. Indeed, PKL did have the AK. That was 26 HP, the wide swing for Safe. Not yielding a kill for Pain. 35 seconds left. PKL trying to do some damage. They know that there's a buy around the corner, so that could have been worthwhile, but instead Fury up just one casualty.
Yeah. That's really the only thing Fury are trying to ensure there, just making sure that the win is easy. They don't really, you know, cough up anything, you know, have to do a whole lot of rebuying. They had already rifled up on several players kind of understanding the game and understanding that AKs and Galils were coming in the next round. Pain will lack a little bit of utility on some of their players. That's kind of one thing working against them, but all in all, they're going to be on equal footing with Furia. And again, I like the decision for Furia not to go too SMG heavy, kind of having a read of things.
Yeah, they've got a good read of the situation, only seeing one AK-47 and a bunch of armorless players. Junior keeping the SMG in play, though, and able to pull back and save his own life. The smoke's down there, making sure no early casualties, and Art can now play inside the vent in case they push down Secret.
Yeah, it seems like Furia have a pretty good read of the situation. Junior able to spot a good bit of information. Vinny is going to be able to keep tabs here on radio. Art even getting aggressive. So shocking, you know, to see him look for an aggressive maneuver like that. Unfortunately for him, Safe was more than prepared. The problem is that Junior and Vinny still have a dangerous crossfire that could shut down the radio portion of this potential lower split that Painter may be trying to look to do. And so even with that initial entry and man advantage, it may not last for long, Vince.
Lots the first head bobbing and weaving around, but Junior not quite up to the mark. Then he needs to have a huge round that he's picked up too. It's given his teammates an opportunity. Safe is still waiting in the vents, and that call will be relayed. K Serato needs to be very careful because he's about to walk into the trap intelligently. just dips his toe in the water and spots the piranhas trying to snap his feet off. Yuri, in amongst all of that chaos, though, is pushing down in towards ramp, smoked off. And he needs his teammate to help him out. Yuri may very well just push that smoke anyway. He's hoping that Yuri can do enough damage and cause enough interference, but that player from Vents does make a move. And with Yuri picking off the frag onto Nekis, that will be the case. Quesarado is sprinting in, takes down Safe, will be shut down in the back from PKL, but there's now an opportunity for Yuri to maybe stick this defuse, but he doesn't have a kit. He doesn't have a kit, so even though he gets the pick, it's not going to be enough time. And Pain will just about get the round.
There was run on the other side, too, right here by the doorway. So unfortunate, because I feel like you were really covering the important aspects of it. That was a really well-structured retake where Yuri knew he had to take the risk and like make a play to give Quesarado a chance to rotate Vin safely. So, I mean, they were on the right mindsets, but the kitted player is the one who goes down in the back halls eventually. The one kit they had no longer in play, and that winds up letting Pain the round. A big victory to get. Both economies now very fragile. We are seeing, again, some aggression towards that radio room position. Vinny this time with the Deagle being the one to be the tip of the spear. Oh, they're going to go for a little boost action here as well. So, won't know if this will actually come into play or not, but if it does, it could be very important for Furia if it goes unchecked.
Especially with the Deagle. You don't check the Deagle, you have the insta headshot potential, because obviously you're looking at them from above. This could get really dangerous really fast, and Vinny's already got 4 kills. He's clearly feeling it. They have the AWP from the scout, pardon me, for Junior.
Still a nice bait and switch setup, though, to have him at Turnpike, so he's going to draw first contact, maybe even get a tag off, and then they're going to, you know, maybe have attention to him. Obviously, your next focus, once you see that guy at Turnpike, is if there is 2 players ramps, the other guy's probably either on the ramp or he's, like, behind headshot box or, you know, one of those things, right? You're not thinking of that boosted position to your close right. So, again, it's just all about whether or not Pain actually play into this or not. The Junior does go looking for someone here with the scout. No one there. Still a very lobby-focused team is Pain. But now they're making that pivot over to radio, and so this actually could come into effect, Vince.
Vinny with 1, and there's the scout picking up the rest, trying to draw away the fire. Junior's also gone down to the hands of Safe. Art trying to quickly rummage his way back towards the B site, but Safe is already pushing straight down. Smoke onto Decon. Cordons off one of the area. They now have to be only worried about the double doors, but Art has struck with the orb from that very position. And Quesarado decides that smoke isn't a brick wall, gets up the sledgehammer, pushes straight through there. Nekis needs to clutch a 1-on-2 with 15 seconds to go, takes out Quesarado, and now Nekis has an opportunity. Yuri goes for the peak, but Nekis takes his head off. Pain somehow steal away the round.
Yeah, I mean, they were able to stay on even footing basically throughout the entirety of that round, even despite that radio gimmick set up through the Vinny. Art, though, gets that AUG kill, gives his team the edge, and you're thinking to yourself that maybe Fury actually had this. Even Quesarado coming with the M4, putting Nekis the clutch. It just seemed like Yuri didn't need to open the door at that point in time. There was only 11 seconds left on the clock. He had no time to bring that bomb back to upper, most likely, and still have time to plant. So I feel like he could have been a bit more patient with that door opening, Vince. I think he could have waited for, you know, a situation where Nekis was forced to try to go for a plant, and then you open the door while he's committed. So I think it's a little bit of a mishap there on that clutch, but obviously still a great play from Nekis.
Oh yeah, take nothing away from him, but there are definitely some questions to be asked of Furia. Yuri going in with a force with the rest of his teammates, but they have both been dealt with. Quesarado joining the stack of dead bodies for Furia, and now just charging straight to the site where they'll find Vinny and Junior. Very comfortable round from Pain. Looking good for the T side.
I mean, the question we had was about whether or not they were going to show up as timid as they did yesterday against Heroic, where they just did not look themselves at all. And while you do come in as the underdog and the expectation isn't that you'll win, you're still kind of expected to play your game and kind of be the team that people are familiar with and, you know, give yourself your best chance at victory by playing your style. Didn't do that yesterday. Today, I feel like they've kind of answered our questions in a positive way, Vince. I feel like they are, you know, fearless. They are not too concerned about having to kind of, you know, get their toes wet first before taking the plunge. They're straight in.
Straight up cannonball and top diving board, it would seem, and it's great to see. It really is, because I was worried about them, and so far they've put those worries to the side.
I just got a mental image of you doing a cannonball into a swimming pool, Vince. That's how broke my brain is. Can someone please do a nice Photoshop of Vince cannonballing? We'll put it on the stream.
I would not make as much of a splash now as I would have like a year and a half ago. I'll put it that way.
It's a
though.
cannonball at the end of the day, though, Vince. So like,
True,
it's gonna
true.
Be a big
I
splash,
still weigh a fair amount.
I mean, we could throw Frankie out there doing a cannonball. It's still going to be a big wave. It's a cannonball. That's what it's
True.
meant for. I mean, think about actual cannonballs and how actual small those things are. So, human being bigger than a cannonball.
I
Confirmed
also
facts.
feel like from
Go on.
the top like diving board, that's gonna hurt a little bit. Cannonball.
I mean, it's not like a belly flop, man. I feel like it's not like too terrible.
but your knees and
Depends on
hands-
how high the high dive is. I mean, people do it in the Olympics. They're like doing, you know, freestyle diving and whatnot. So, I mean, they get it done. I feel like it's possible.
Oh, getting it done is definitely the order of play for Pain, and it was against USPs, so not really much hope for Fury, hence us kind of glistening over the round a little bit. Fury even get a kill, I'd be quite surprised. Keeping the Mac 10 in play from Nekis, he's got 2 kills, so that's money in the bank, just printing it for him and the rest of his teammates. I'll be feeling pretty good about how things have started off here. And it really came off the back of that clutch that you mentioned before, Dust. That 1-on-2 that Nekis was able to put in his back pocket and run forward, and the economic damage has really hurt Furia.
Yeah, definitely a step behind in this round with just the USPs. You can only really hope for some type of gimmick or death by without the paper cut type situation to be able to have any impact. And instead, the only impact that the USPs are having is feeding Sace Mac 10 and giving him a ton of cash going forward, as they have now a huge reserve bank. If times were to get tough, they'd be buying for quite some time. But we are going to see Furia able to come back into this one fully. We've been seeing Art go for the AUG. It's a weapon that obviously got nerfed quite a long time ago. It's no longer like the must-have weapon, but I feel like there are certain maps, particularly Train, where you do see some teams still implement it on some of their players. And Nuke is one of those maps where, you know, sometimes you would play double op in the past, but with the economy the way that it is with opping, you're not really kind of encouraged to do double op as too much. You know, it just can be very risky. But the AUG can kind of supplement that type of play style if you want to go like double scope weapons and still need to take some of those longer range duels and feel confident. And so I think it still has a place in the game. That's kind of where you want it to be. You know, you want it to be an option, maybe like an added a role to the game as opposed to like the must be. So I think Valve, shockingly, actually got something right there. No AUG this time though, of course. Absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, has facilitated them an AWP though. So Junior has that one, and straight away Pain go aggressive. They're keeping the SMG. They know this is a bonus, and if they are successful, things just get even sweeter. But Nekis sprayed down from K Serrado. Art chips in with the assist. Good counter utility was tossed in from the CTs there, and Pain have been forced backwards. Very little damage in return to Furia.
Yeah, that's a good start to the round. If you're Fury, you're a couple rounds behind. Your favorite yet is a map you're a little bit dodgy on, but you're still expected to come out and put on a good show. And great little opening kill there for certain. For K Serrado, one of the guys you expect to be popping off for Furia, alongside Yuri, as they will be playing together on this upper side, trying to have each other's backs covered. One watching the hut doorway, one watching for a squeaky door push. So you do see Pain kind of setting up outside, trying to take a little bit of a slower approach. This round, maybe just trying to set up for some type of upper utility. There is no incendiaries left except for Art, who did pick up a Molotov, so they should be able to explode if they want to without taking any damage, but it's just about whether or not they can get past this crossfire.
Yeah, Yuri and K Serrado have it locked down on A for the time
You
being.
imagine they're going to molly K Serrado out, though, right? I mean, that's a common spot to get Molotov, so K Serrado could get flushed out of position, but now the op is inside heaven from Junior to assist.
Molly to the heavens and not dealing with the threat of K Serrado. This is fair. And I have to mention, Crossfire really shines. It cuts them to shreds as they run into the barbed wire. And Furia pick up a third.
Yeah, tough. I mean, again, you see a lot of teams will prioritize a Molotov in that vent position where K Serrado was playing, as well as potentially a second one inside heaven, or maybe one on top of the hut is another very common use of that. This time around, kind of allowed K Serrado to be the stone left unturned. And so that combination of crossfiring and rotations was able to take care of the business there for Furia, starting to close the gap on the scoreboard early here, not letting Pain jump up to too big of a lead. But again, so much money was left over from, you know, safe farming kills with the Mac 10 and the success that they were having as a unit there for a few rounds. So they're still really well stocked on firepower.
Interestingly, they had more than enough for an AWP on safe, and they elect to go for full AK, so more of a mobile approach from Pain. Feeling that Furia is still a little bit shaky, a little bit vulnerable perhaps.
Ooh. see they're kind of go for a little bit of an upper feint there with the Molotov on top. They also Molly Jr. off of the turnpike, allowing them ramp room access. Also able to catch Yuri being aggressive inside the hut position. Now Quesarado's gone as well, and Fury members are just dropping like flies all across the map. Flawless round so far from Pain, looking to have an immediate response to Furia's victory in the previous round.
Safe shut down in the back, didn't check on top of Hart and Junior, hoping to try and save. May get Pete from lockers if he's not careful, and he does. Nekis will be drilling into him. Actually, from Secret, there was a double peek that came in play. Maybe that messed with Junior a little bit too much. And the downside here is not only do you not save an AWP, but having a look at the economy, the 2 weapon save maybe affords him the luxury of going for a full buy. With only 1, it's pretty doubtful at this point. This really hurts Furia considerably.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you figure Art would have had enough money to purchase a weapon, drop somebody, would have given him at least 3 weapons into the next round. Now no guarantee, and now even the AK won't come over. So now any hope in anything is gone. Best they can do is maybe some upgraded pistols, try to go for some aggressive play, maybe like a nade stack outside. Art actually picks up an AWP. He does it pretty quickly. That was a very fast decision to get that weapon out on the field. And the question will be, does he use it for himself? Or does he give it to Junior? Because again, Junior comes in to kind of replace Henny as the primary op of the team, but we know that Art has a very long history of being a primary opper for Furia throughout a lot of his career on this team. Very capable. So they want to take it for himself and try to make something happen. Indeed he will.
I wonder if it was based off Spawn to get in
be.
heaven quickly. Didn't quite catch from the Spawn perspective there, but yeah, he is going to be using it from himself, and this isn't a full investment. It's more like a raid boss AWP. Everyone else does go for the upgraded pistols, as you kind of touching on.
Absolutely, as he tries to get aggressive here, misses his shot, but able to get away, but he's going to go for the re-peek, and that's going to be into a nade stack and a push, but he somehow, whether it's a Stormer, finds a frag and gets out of there.
And
gets the AK as well for a teammate, yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
Well
That's
done, Art.
huge.
Okay.
And whereas it was only upgraded pistols, 2 players do have Kevlar, so they can try and juggle that one around. Tons of damage being done to Yuri and Art additionally. Safe watching into main. Easy pickings onto Art. Oversteps the mark. AWP is picked back up again from Quesarato. Same position to Yuri as previous rounds. And Quesarato just peering into main. Gets the drop on PKL for free.
And will they check Yuri's corner position? Like, they may keep trying to gun after Quesarado if they want to keep trying to pry open this upper side for mini side, but that's when Quesarado can strike. I mean, he has low health, so he's basically playing it as perfectly as he can here from Yuri's perspective. The Heaven Wrap, though, is now a potential threat. See Safe and company starting to make that maneuver. I don't even know if someone has eyes on this. In fact, they don't. The 2 upper players are focused on Squeaky Hut and Mini, so this could definitely catch them off guard, as Quesarado is definitely potentially going to get blindsided. The Silas had some sanctuary for him, but if they kind of creep all the way out, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yuri's gone down first. This will allow Quesarato to be alerted to their presence. Only in second, Save dropping down, gets drilled by Quesarato, who goes in for 4. Exquisite AWPing from Quesarado.
Oh, I would have loved to have seen that from his perspective. Those last 2 op headshots must have been insane. He was being pressured from all ends. His teammate had fallen. Any hopes at backup were not really possible anymore. He had to tee off by himself. He could have won off the clock too, but didn't even need that. Just winds up popping him. Make him the new primary. I'm down.
Furia just have so many options, such a fluid team. Quesarado very capable on the assault rifle. Speaking of which, there's 3 kills in quick succession. Yuri bags 2 of them, forces and funnels Pain away from main. The remaining 2 players still outside. Big Azera at top of hut, or top of main, pardon me. And his teammate Safe, who was on silos, now dropped down, trying to get down Secret. Does successfully make those moves, and they get too aggressive. They both get punished. This is where the aggression sometimes costs Furia dearly, from a 2v5 into a 2-on-3, with plenty of time still available for Pain.
Yeah, that is a bit of a misstep, isn't it? It's going to open up some opportunities for Pain to still maybe pull the wool over their eyes. But Vinny has a clutch position here on that top railing in case Rado finding Big Azera. So this does seem like it's still going to get taken care of. They'll return with 3 players, including the op carrier. And now the money has actually finally run dry for Pain. Only really Safe has money to maybe spread out some upgraded pistols. But outside of that, it's going to be a chance for Fury to start playing a little bit of catch-up. Vince, they've already tied up the game. Now they have a chance to take the lead. Consider Pain's economic situation. Looks like my bank account. at this point.
That is an oof, for sure.
Wow, bro. Okay.
I was like, how can I be... I'm not going to be reasonable.
You and reasonable.
You have to go back to that moment, the K-Serato clutch. That's what turned everything around. Payne still with 5 rounds, still with an opportunity to get a decent half out of this, but it could have been so brutal. Junior will be double peaked. Surely he doesn't survive this, nearly gets away with it. As Harjao's P250 was looking a little bit grim. And now he goes back in for the peak towards Trophy. Watching to see if any of the CTs are trying to push around the back. That won't be the case. They do at least have control over the bomb with Nekis.
Yep.
But they need to make a decision and stick with it.
Yeah, I mean, with 1 minute, they can try to see if someone from Fury decides to get a little bit over-eager, which Fury has been known to do, so I don't blame them for maybe kind of waiting for opportunity to come to them instead of having to take it head-on. They do have 1 smoke, and that's it, and Yuri has a really good position. It's going to be very hard to clear. So they decide to double back over to ramp room. Not sure if they'll try to go for lower or heaven play. Lower is the least risky maneuver that they can make, but again, with only 1 smoke to plant inside of, they can't really cover the doors or the window. So they could be in for some trouble unless they can get this op shot off onto K-Serato.
Hardzao going in first. Nekis trying to peek into control room. Doesn't come out ahead, and that's the round that should follow with him. Hardzao, even though he picks up the return kill onto K-Serato and may very well successfully get this bomb down, being at 17 HP makes this a really difficult endeavor. Art is low though, should be highlighted, but they also have an incendiary on him, 2 smokes and a flashbang with a kit alongside them. Hardzao in a position where maybe this is feasible. Maybe I'd written him off a bit too early here, especially as he gets the drop on Art, but now they know exactly where he is. It comes down to Yuri, an outright great aimer. Could very well put 1 bullet in Hardzao and secure this, but Hardzao is playing this to perfection. But unfortunately, he was always living on borrowed time. Excellent try, but it was a bridge too far.
It was excellent because Art was the one guy that I guess had the incendiary you were speaking of, so the ability to flush him out of position was no longer there. Yuri just had to try to run him down. Brilliant effort here from K-Serato to definitely a big part of watch Yuri win this round. Sets the team up in a manageable 2-on-1. So Art may be a little bit frustrated that he went down in that situation, but at least his team was able to recover it. Op's still going to be in play. Again, I want to see something from Junior with the Op. I mean, this is, by no offense, but a weaker opposition. He hasn't really hit the ground running with this Op on this team. He's kind of struggling some of the other tournaments. So this is where you can kind of maybe get your confidence back by having good performance, and he seems to be struggling yet again.
Yeah, that was kind of my sentiment going into this. I think this is like a comfort match potentially for Furia, where it just eases them back in to a bit of confidence and a bit of form. But the other side of that, of course, does is if they end up getting battered here and lose, well, it kind of has the absolute adverse effect.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was absolutely destroying people when he was playing for Triumph and, Mountain Dew League and even some of the CPL Season 12. And, yeah, he's definitely not had the best of times here trying to adjust to this Portuguese-speaking team. Understandable it'd be a tough ask, but you do hope eventually it pans out for him.
So far in the round, though, it's looking pretty grim for Furia. Finally, Payne getting some success again. Vinny at range, beautiful taps to the head of PKL, then takes down Safe, who just dry peeks in the double doors with the AWP, maybe anticipating that Vinny's magazine had depleted and it was the opportune moment to strike, but it backfires entirely. Hardzao, not for the first time in another clutch scenario, but Nekis this time will help him out. Dink down to 9 from Vinny, who's done so much damage in this round, single-handedly, probably about 400 ADR. But it's down to Junior, who has to try and clutch this. Every reason to go in, especially as I'm sure it's been called the last of the 2. One of them is exceptionally low. Can Junior put the AWP down range? The downside here is that Decon door will be watched by Hardzao. At least it is already open. That sound cue won't be made, but Hardzao does not miss. Peppers Junior in the head, and Payne bring us back to even.
Yeah, Junior not wanting to scope in until he had to, trying to keep the element of surprise for as long as he could, but there was never a chance he was gonna slip under their noses with that player positioning from Payne. So they will tie this game right back up. Money becoming fragile once more for Furia. Coming to this with what they can, but includes only a UMP for K-Serato. Art just on the Deagle. And so a huge advantage here for Payne Art trying to use that deagle in a very aggressive manner, getting up forward outside. But it's a solo mission, as often is for Art.
Oh, he really excels in these kind of situations. The kind of player that is most dangerous when his back is to the wall. And suddenly, he may get some action. PKL, by himself, is slowly edging his way outside. Flying through, may allow Art the safety of getting the kill, but PKL checks his angles, shuts down Art, and in doing so, opens up business for outside. The only player that's really here watching is Junior, but he doesn't have the AWP. It's only the A1S.
Yeah, when you know that Art is on the server, you take a little bit of extra care to clear out some of those angles, Vince, and it's going to reward Payne for being careful. Nekus also picking up on Vinny. So big advantage here for Payne in this round. Again, a chance to force Furia back onto a save, a chance to jump up to 8-6. A little bit of a 2-for-1 special on the menu here if Payne can convert. But Junior with the M4 trying to keep his team in the hunt. Gets it back into a 3-on-4. Still a tough round, though, here for Furia as bomb does go down.
I think this is going to be a save.
Could very well be.
Don't really see too many other options here for Furia, especially with their money being in such dire straits.
At least they're able to get the UMP out of the hands and upgrade that weapon. So they have 3 rifles coming into the next round, which is far better than what things would be. They have tried to go for this retake and failed. It seems like Payne's getting too much chase. They can't really afford to. Their money is also kind of low for rebuying, so may just be a bit of a stalemate. But Payne will take the lead 7-6.
Yep, Payne extend their lead that one step further. Already looking like a very solid T half. They could feasibly pick up the 9-6. That economy still in no great shape from Fury. I'm curious if they actually force behind these 3 weapons or not.
Yeah, it's a tough call, really. It does seem like you're already falling well behind on your CT side nuke, and it may be that they feel like they need to get as much out of it as they can. It's like the only thing I could really think of that would cause them to want to force around it. They do get the 2 MP9s, understandably so. Again, not the best time on nuke so far for Furia. Their T-side win rate is at 32%, so they want to get what they can defensively, Vince.
Art with a big headshot going through again, lands the dink and finishes it off. PKL will be pretty bitter about that encounter. That's exactly what Furia were hoping for. They haven't been able to hold on to pick up any of those rifles. They still had 2 SMGs and make it 1 now that Nekis has gone in and shut down the first player. He will get returned on, though. Hardzao, safe, last 2 remaining Payne players, but as has often been the case, with so much aggression, they have tons of time left allocated to them, and Hardzao can go back and pick up the bomb.
Indeed, they can. Hardzao trying to come back up through Secret. Safe able to catch on to Junior as well to get it back to even numbers. And now one of the still weapons out there is the MP9 on Vinny. He has not been able to find a fallen weapon to get better firepower in his hands. Yuri, though, able to find Hardzao, so it's all on Safe with the AK. He has no bomb to his name. So it looks like Furia may have just snuck this one through, but Safe still has some time to try to work things out.
It's a bit of a buffer of cash going into the last round as well. It would only be PKL that's feeling a little bit worse for wear, so every reason for Safe to go in for this one. Plus, they know that Furia, by no means millionaires on the server, so if you can take one of these 2 weapons away, that puts Furia into an awkward position additionally. 15 seconds, Safe goes to pick up that bomb, spins in. Yuri holds on for dear life with 19 HP. Unfortunate for Payne, but it is 7-7.
Yeah, you feel if he gets that kill, he may could have ran through Mini and gotten a planted upper and had a real shot at it. So definitely not a bad attempt, but good round from Fury, particularly Art. Getting a lot of work done, lingering around that secret position with the M4. A valiant effort to try to come back into the round from Payne, but just not good enough. As it will now tie the game up. Final round of the half to go here. Fully decked out Furia now. No AWP, but an AUG there for Junior. PKL on just an Eagle, as you were kind of mentioning. He was the one that was struggling to put funds together.
Okay, Serato gets wide swung, and no one's there to help him out. Junior gets a little bit too late into close proximity, and Payne shut it down with drive-bys on the AKs and the Deagle. Vinny wondering what just happened on the A site, and he has
A
to try and
brilliant
walk over the
pacing
ruins.
change, I must say, Vince.
Nice headshot from Vinny onto PKL. Smoked off though, unfortunately. Doesn't have any ordnance to use. Smoking off the squeaky side, trying to funnel in and isolate these players from one another. Now he is being flanked, no way of knowing this. Still so many angles for him to cover on the approach. Surely this is not possible. He gets peeked from multiple angles. I'm surprised he even survived that long, but we're gonna head to a break real quick, and when you rejoin us, we'll be live for the second half.
I started speaking slick with my tone. I talk too sweet to repair. Should've known that you would be gone when you gave in to my spell. Trying to find your feet on the floor, but you're suspended in air. Scratching for a way out my clutch, but you ain't going nowhere. You shaking 'cause you're frozen. You need some holy water to wash away this poison. 'Cause there's no breaking out. Trapped in my nightmare. I know it when you fell into my arms. 'Cause nothing is right here. Now you're shaking 'cause you know it won't be long till you're deeper and deeper. Fall into fear. Keep screaming out, but no one can hear. You're trapped in a nightmare. And if you don't wake up quick, then this is the end. Closer, the end's running near. I feel the pressure and it's popping my ears. Thought you could trust me, once again you failed. If there is a God, hope he can hear me out. You won't melt the ice, you won't break the chains. I promise I won't get caught back in this again. I've learned my lesson and I won't take it light. Just save me from this life. Trapped in my nightmare. I know it when I fell into your arms. Nothing is right here. Now you're shaking 'cause you know it won't be long till you're deeper and deeper. Fall into fear. Keep screaming out, but no one can hear. You're trapped in a nightmare. And if I don't wake up quick, then this is the end.
Choice of pain, but now they move across to the CT side, and we still have some questions to be answered from Furia. They had a poor performance against Big in their first matchup, and to be honest, other than a Caserado crazy 4K with the AWP, we haven't really seen much from Furia that we can get excited about.
And again, they come into this game so far only having around a 33% win rate on the T side. Meanwhile, Payne near 60% defensively in the North American region.
Bigazera goes down to the hands of Vinny, who then goes in for more. Vinny has been pretty solid, especially with that A1S. With an AK in his hands further on, could be something special to witness. PKL still staying alive behind the vents. Knowing there's players all around him, but it's Art that shuts him down. Safe and Hard's out. Have to try and somehow rummage together a clutch out of that situation, and Hard's out pushes in before Safe can really make a move. He was smoked out of main. I thought for a moment they might even piece out of there and just hold on to the Kevlar and the kit that they had. So it's at least something to go ahead and play with, but unfortunately the kit's dropped down onto the side, so Safe can't even save that, in case Serrano doesn't afford him to save anything. Rips his head clean off. Furia claim the second pistol for themselves.
definitely the start you feel like they needed, considering their struggles on the T side and Nuke thus far as a team, and considering how this game has been playing out so far. It was almost kind of a requirement to keep them afloat. They are getting good performances out of everyone on the lineup except for Junior. Good frag distribution on the other 4 players. Definitely superior to the majority of Pain. So they have a couple things going for them, Vince, but they're up against a really dangerous buy from Pain. You know, these Mag 7s, this Scout, the Eagle out there on Big Azera, those are some potent weapons on the field.
No doubt. They have to tread carefully here and not take anything for granted. I suppose a caveat to the very low T win percentage is that it's typically been against tier 1 opposition. So maybe against Pain they can put them down and make their economy strained out. Safe doing quite a bit of damage with the Scout, but it's not going to be the outright frag, not the headshot. Yuri also gets tagged. I believe that was Safe that just tagged him through the wall. And there's another one. So much ADR, and Art continues to peek him. I'm sure Pain maybe can't really make the most of this and capitalize on that over-aggressive peak. But Safe showing and sending out the warning signs of, when I have that AWP in my hands, anything is possible.
Yes, they will just concede and wash, rinse, repeat, Vince. Kind of the typical move that you'll make in a round like this where, you know, that this isn't going to work. At least you can give it a shot in the next round.
Furia regain the lead. A real back and forth encounter in the first half. Pain at least saved though here does, so they do have pretty much all the same threats as they possessed in the last round.
See how it works out for him, man.
The play is deep in thought, pensive as it stands. Getting into round 18. Scout and Mag 7 are both being played apart from one another to give themselves threats across the map. And K Serato, who sprays in through the smoke, has lost Art. How did Art die? Did he drop to his death?
He didn't catch it, so yeah, not sure. Not a good sign, though, to just go down for free like that, essentially.
I'm seeing the X next to Silo, but he got tagged and then fell down, yeah. It must have been what happened, unfortunate, but that's the way it goes sometimes. Yuri, on the meanwhile, goes aggressive into main, and there's Nekis with the Mag 7 to put an end to his aggression, and Junior has snuck his way into Hut. This could give him the drop on the first player, indeed it does. Big Azera falls to his hands. They're going to try and explode outside of Ramp, but there's Hud's out up close with the Zeus. It's finally happened, Dust. And now K Serato, though, he doesn't care about the Zeus. He only has his eyes set on the prize of our 10th round. Nekis, the only thing that stands against Furia and reaching that mark.
I don't care at this point, man. I got what I wanted. Selfishly, we got the Zeus. Round, likely a different story. Nekis. Spot about K Serato's position, and also able to transfer the Junior. He has a shot here, Vince.
He's got a shot. He's put himself in with a real chance. K Serato, though, has the luxury of being in a post plant. So it falls upon Nekis to play aggressive. Even though he initially saw K Serato, now the position has changed and K Serato plays it perfectly. Nice try, Nekis. Puts a bit of BM in there as well, trying to get in the back of Pain's mind.
Quite literally, with those bullets would go into the back of his brain. To be fair, he did do it to the floor, not his body. Somewhat reasonable. I feel like I'm really good at that impression. It's a really sad skill to have. Give it a try.
All of the you know, skills to put on the resume, and that's the one. Can make a really good team style.
I put it in my demo reel. Can I give it a try?
I think my voice would crack if I did that, to be
Try
honest.
it. Give it a shot.
It sounds like some kind of mating call of like some little bird. Oh, why have I done that? 4v4 Dust, you know what? Just cast.
Please. You know what? I respect you for doing it, because I really thought you were gonna back out of that one immediately and just be like, nah, I won't.
Wish
But,
I had,
you
of
did. You gave it a
course.
valiant effort. Speaking of valiant efforts, Sage trying to give this round a valiant effort for his team as he's gonna pop out the op and he's gonna crack 2 of them. Junior with the response, but still a man behind his Fury in this round.
Big Azera in a decent position though, and PKL snaps around the back of them. Excellent work by Payne to bring this back in, but it has to be said that Safe made that possible.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. I'm still recovering from the Zeus impression battle that we just had.
I will certainly concede to your superior as you sound there, Dust. You definitely have me beat.
Yeah, I mean, there was never really a chance for you on that one. You have casted 2 majors, though, so you have won that category. So, I mean, you know, got a lot going for you. You know, I just have to take the small prizes where I can, Vince.
You never know. Maybe you'll get a chance to do it at a major one day, you know?
You know, I'll try to be optimistic. Maybe you're right. PGL, how's it going, guys?
Hit me up. Get his use impression right now.
You know, love DreamHack, though. Glad they had us on board for Masters. You know, you and I have kind of been a little bit of a staple on B streams for DreamHack Masters. Always a ton of fun to come out here and cover the elite level competition that DreamHack puts on at these Masters events.
Oh, this has been mega stacked tournament. And it's unfortunate for Payne because they're still trying to break out the shackles, and that's exactly what Sage has done. Forcing him to push through the incendiaries. There's 2 of them down there, dancing through the fire and flames. Junior picks off his man. And it does give them free avenue down towards Secret and B side, plus an AWP to add to the mix. This round is far from over for Payne. They've got to be super careful from this point.
You're absolutely right. Must tread lightly here. See a HUD aggression. I like this double up play from Payne, kind of realizing that with the 4-on-4, with no information, you don't want to spread yourself too thin. You don't want to just play standard. You have to kind of buddy up and make sure that you're doing something together and you're getting that added bit of information and added bit of map control. And so by them having lobby presence, it allows PKL to just kind of focus up more towards heaven. He'll smoke off mini. He's going to make this a lot more difficult on Furia to feel safe coming straight into upper without some type of multi-prong approach. So he's basically forcing the attacking side to slow down, respect more space, and he's just giving his team a better chance by anchoring, again, this hut and lobby position. It gives them a launching pad, Vince. It allows them, again, to not get slice and dice from multiple fronts.
PKL with 23 seconds, going to try and sneak out once again. Biggest error instantly gets cleaved by Art Deagle, and PKL falls the same way. Furia have snuck their way into a 2-on-4 against all the odds, and Nekis and Hard Zhao don't really have an avenue back into this round. They have to pretty much just swallow their pride, go save their weapons. They may not be afforded that luxury, though, as Hard Zhao goes back towards the CT side. Caserado could very well peek out and shut him down. Hard Zhao does have the angle covered with the AUG. It will excel at this range. They know where one of the 2 Payne players are, and the fact that they've seen Hard Zhao back away will tell them everything they need to know. They are looking to save. They know that there's going to be no aggression towards the site now. It has been guaranteed certain, so they can back out the site, try and save themselves, and Fury will be leading by 2.
Yeah, and Payne don't have a whole lot of money to buy around these 2 save weapons, Vince, and that's another kind of thing you have to factor in, is Fury will now go up 11-9 again. Moments have struggled on the T side in the past on the SPAT when they played against the European opposition since Junior's been on board. And again, we talked about this in the pregame. This was like the one map of any map against Furia where you did give Payne the slight nod. You know, you kind of felt like this could be their chance to get something going, but now you start to get a little bit concerned for them, because if they can't take care of business here on Nuke, despite a really good start on their T side, and despite the fact that this is definitely, you know, their pick, their strength, their comfort zone, you start to really fear for their tournament lives. I know it's early. Don't get me wrong. There's still a chance for them to come back in this map. There's still other maps to be played in the series, potentially, but it's not a good initial sign. I will say at least that they have not played timid. You know, they definitely come out and instilled their game plan, instilled, you know, what they feel is best for them. So that is progress, but that's a very small victory. Events like they have to get results, and this one's starting to slip through their fingers a little bit. I mean, I really thought that they were in control of the game after that T side, and now you're starting to fear the worst.
Yeah, I do respect, though, that, you know, I said before, I think they have to go out on their shield. If they're going to lose on their own terms, and they've done that. They're not over the line just yet, though, Furia. They have had their own issues, their own demons to face as of late. So I'm not going to completely write Pain off, but there's no doubt the momentum and the general flow of this game favors Furia pretty convincingly at this stage.
No, that's a fair assessment, I think, of the lay of the land. Art actually able to slip by PKL there, get into Mini, and they start its upper split, and it's working out because they also got burned as well by Dorado. Art gets caught with his pants down, though, and Bomb gets caught in lobby. Oh, no.
So many peaks, so much chaos across the map, and it will favor Pain for the time being. They have picked up the bomb, but it's wasting valuable time. Junior just runs straight to the site, gets the post plant into effect. The utility between the two of them is not ideal. They just throw out their one smoke. They do have 3 flashes still, however, on their collective belt. Yep, Hardzao and PKL. Very low indeed. This may come down to safe. The timing for Serato is so brutal, though. Speak of the devil and he shall appear. Safe shuts out. Serato switches off the kill switch. And now PKL does go down to the hands of Junior, who then goes in for more. He's had a bit of a quiet game thus far, but could very well clutch this one. Hardzao's just sticking the defuse, though, and Junior has fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker.
There was so much he did right, only for that to happen in the end. That is a little bit sad. You feel for the man. He had the world against him in a 1 versus 2 with an op in his hands, winds up getting 2 frags, including a really tough one against a guy doing some parkour all over his face. Still got that frag in the end. We're just kind of hoping that maybe it was going to be a fake. Unfortunately not.
Understandable with his HP, he'd already done so much. PKL, though, ice in the veins to come straight out and pick off Junior. His woes continue. Nice double kill, though, in the previous round. Definitely glimpses of what the man is capable of delivering. With Serato already pushing out the Squeaky. Nekis shutting down Art, but may very well get avenged by Serato if he's not careful. Walks out into the open and does meet his demise to the hands of the star Brazilian players. Had a very good game so far. 21 frags and nearly 100 ADR beside him. But in a 2-on-4, is sticking around, waiting to see if the A players rotate off the site into his crosshair, and now realizes that his priority is to help Vinny out. Vinny may not need any help, though. He's been a one-man wrecking crew, especially on that CT side, as he starts to pivot through the smoke into a different angle. Will be peeking up. He's played this so well, Vinny. It's another headshot. This was a 2v5, incidentally. They've brought this down to an even affair. Big Azera has already been tagged slightly. They don't have much utility between the two of them, only 2 flashes, and PKL's been picked off by Serato, with Vinny cleaning it up. A 2v5 and Furious still stands.
Hey, Vince.
Hello.
Vince? You still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. What's up?
The Fury just won a 2 versus 5.
They did. That just happened. You just saw that.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that we were a part of the same reality at the same time. There's been a lot of wild things that have happened throughout this tournament, but that one takes the cake, Vince. Pain. They have absolutely crapped the bed, Vince.
Yeah,
no one wants to crap the bed.
There's not much that you can really say to justify losing a 2v5. I mean, Serato and Vinny played it so well, like pretty much flawlessly, but
yes,
with every 2v5, there's always going to be a couple of mistakes,
at
least on the team that gets, the 2v5 against them.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Man, that is, feels bad. On spaghetti all over the place.
And it doesn't really end there in the actual specific 2v5. You also have to look at the repercussions.
Yep.
Reparations have been paid, and it looks pretty poor for the overall economy. Big Azera's already
Look at the spot from Nekis, dude.
I like this spot, but it's not one you can use that often. No one want to shoot back at him.
Oh, no! Hey, Vince?
Yep.
Did he just cannonball into the fire?
He did. Unfortunately for him, it was liquid fire, though.
Don't recommend doing that.
No.
It does seem like a bad idea.
Don't try this at home, kids.
Not the kind of Brazilian barbecue that you want to enjoy.
No.
Brazilian barbecue, though, is quite fire.
Oh, it's beautiful. Delicious.
Yeah. Doesn't he look like Blue a little bit?
Yeah,
Junior?
actually.
Like if Blue had curlier hair. I feel like they could be related. If you did a side-by-side of Blue and Junior, I think you'd find a lot of similarities there. Shout out to Blue. Still living his good life on the esports industry.
He's a good lad. Pain. They need to somehow shut this one down, bring this back into close proximity. Queserato falling to Biggest Arrow would be an excellent start, but unfortunately it's only a tank down to 3 HP. No foul has been used from Vinny. That's a 1-for-1. But Vinny then comes out for a second. And that's been a big issue for Pain, as they constantly lose out on these 2v2 sort of trades. It works against them again, and just like that, Fury have so much control.
Yeah, this is a real problem as Obama's going down. All fronts are pretty well covered. Pain in really poor position to try to retake here. They only have one flashbang. They have no kits. They're a man behind. Yeah, Queserado's vulnerable, but... And there is a kit down on the site.